Hello everyone, my name is Taina. I'm an overseas trained nurse currently practicing in the UK. Welcome to my channel everybody. On this channel, we're going to be discussing nursing, current update in nursing practice, lifestyle, beauty, health tips, as well as finances. In this particular video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips and tricks on how you can make some extra money on the side apart from your monthly salary. And this video is not really for nurses alone. This is for everybody, irrespective of the profession you find yourself in. I believe you can still take some advice from this video. So if this is something you're interested in, stay tuned. So one thing I've realized is most nurses do get paid monthly, especially here in the UK. I know it differs from country to country, but in UK, nurses get paid monthly. So imagine getting paid on the 29th of February and waiting until the 29th of March before you get paid. And sometimes even before the money or the salary hits your account, you've already budgeted for it and the money would have been finished even before it gets to your account. So you ask yourself, how do you survive to the end of the month waiting for another salary? So this is what this video is all about. So I'm going to be sharing with you, like I said, some tips on how you can get extra money in between whilst you wait for another salary. So if this is something you're interested in, take a pen and a paper and be ready to take notes. The first tip is by you taking extra shifts in your ward on your day off. In UK, most nurses do work 12-hour shifts, and that's like 3 long days, or it can be 4 long days in a week, but mostly it's 3 long days, and you find out that one of them will be 4 long days in a week. So on any of these days that you are off, you are allowed to pick up extra shifts whenever you think it's convenient for you. And you can do an early shift, a late shift, or even a night shift if that's okay for you. And what I mean by early shift is you can start at 8 and then finish at 2, or if you start at 2, you finish at 8, or you can as well do a night shift. And one thing is, with these extra shifts, you get paid a little higher compared to your hourly rate for your normal shift. Advice I would give when it comes to you taking extra shifts is that if you are a newly qualified nurse, I would advise that you at least work for about 4 to 6 months in your ward and then get used to the ward routines, get used to the competencies you are expected to be signed off for. For instance, you need to be signed off to be able to do oral medication, IV cannulation, taking blood samples, catheterization. So at least you should work for about 4 to 6 months and make sure you are fully competent in all of these basic nursing skills. So that at least if you take a bank shift, you will be very, very helpful. But normally, when there is a bank shift out there, it means they are really short-staffed and they need people. In other countries, it's called overtime. It's still the same as you taking extra shift. And also, if you are an overseas trained nurse who is currently working in a different country altogether, obviously the system will be so new to you. So with this particular advice about taking on extra shifts to earn extra income, I would advise that you wait until at least you've worked within the system for about 4 to 6 months, familiarize yourself with their routines of the ward, and then you can be confident enough to take on extra shifts. Each ward has its own requirements, or each hospital has its own requirements to be able to take on extra shifts. So in the ward I used to work in, you should have at least worked for about 6 months. So I think it's fair enough, because hopefully by then you would have been confident enough even to not only take bank shifts in your own ward or work extra shifts in your own ward, but you can as well take extra shifts in other wards. So within these 4 to 6 months, at least you would have been confident enough, know the routines in your own ward. Then you can even take extra shifts in other wards as well. You are not really limited to your own ward. So one thing I would say with taking on extra shifts, apart from you getting paid extra, normally the hourly rate for a bank shift is obviously higher than if you do your regular shift. So like I said, you don't only get paid extra for working extra shift, you also get to meet other people in other wards, especially if you are confident enough to go to other wards to do extra shift. So you get to meet people with different specialties, because for instance, if you are working in a gastrointestinal ward, you can decide to take a bank shift in a surgical ward, in an orthopedic ward, in a rehab ward, just to see what it looks like over there, just to see what is done, the routines. And by so doing, you definitely meet professionals with different specialties, and as you work in these specialty areas, you might even develop an interest in an area that you didn't even know. And most of the time, people are always helpful to give any information with regards to how you can get yourself into any specialty if you tend to develop a particular interest in a particular area. That is, if you go out to other wards to do extra shift. Apart from you meeting other people with different specialties, you can also build network. You don't only work obviously with nurses, but you work with doctors, nursing assistants, and practice nurses, people with different specialties. So you'll build networks, and obviously never know where you might even need your help. It might not necessarily be in the hospital alone, but you can meet them anywhere else in the world and they might be of help. Apart from that, it can also increase your chances of you even getting promotion, because in order to be promoted, you don't need to limit yourself in the knowledge and experience in just one area. So for instance, what I mean by this, let me use myself as an example. I used to work in the gastrointestinal ward. So if you happen to see any position being advertised in another ward, if I've been in this particular ward, if I've done extra shifts in that ward, I know the routines of the ward, I know the managers, I know the medications they give to these patients in this specialty area. At least it increases your chances of even being considered for a position like this whenever any vacancy comes up in that area. So summarizing this particular point, you don't only get extra money, you get to build network with other people, other professionals in other specialty areas. You also get to increase your chance of even getting promotion in any other specialty that you might be interested in. I would say concerning taking extra shift in order to earn extra money is that you need to, we are here for the money, right? We need the money. That is what this particular video is all about. So I would advise that if you can, take these extra shifts during the weekends, because you realize that in the weekends you do get paid more than if you do an extra shift on a weekday. Also, if you work an extra shift, if you do a night shift, you get paid more than when you do a normal weekday shift. And one thing is, interestingly, weekends is a bit calm as compared to during the weekdays, because during the weekdays you've got not only the doctors, you've got various specialty nurses coming in to look after the patients. Sometimes you'll be looking for a patient file and you realize it's either with the occupational therapist, it's with the nutritionist, everything is so busy on the ward sometimes. So normally you don't have some of these therapy staff coming in during the weekend, so it's a bit calm. And also especially in the night, if you're lucky all your patients are stable, you can have a very cool shift. And I mean, it's quite cool. I mean, working a cool shift and then getting paid extra. Tip I'll share with you is by you registering with an agency, that's an external agency, which obviously has nothing to do with the hospital you work in. In other countries, I believe there is that agency system as well. And in the UK, there are lots and lots of agencies you can register with, and you can do extra shift just as you do in your own ward. When you register with these agencies, they can give you shifts in so many hospitals across the country. So you are not only limited to your hospital, you can also earn extra income by taking shifts with these agencies. There are lots and lots of them in the UK. We've got Nurse Doc, Day Webster, Thornbury. There's a long list of them. So you just have to pick the ones with the highest pay rates, because obviously we want the money. That's what this video is all about. So you don't want to pick an agency that pays a lower rate, or pays the same as what your hospital would pay you. So once you contact the ones you are interested in, they will take you through their registration process, and once all the paperwork, the necessary checks are done, then you can take on extra shifts. And let me just make a point clear with this agency shifts, what you also need to be aware of, that you need to make sure you are competent enough, because they will not take you to any hospital you are familiar with at all. It can't be any hospital at all in the country. So you should be able to be signed off for all your competencies, like your IV medications, doing oral medication, like the basic nursing stuff, so that you don't go to a hospital and embarrass yourself, because honestly, you are representing the agency wherever you go. And also, it will be best if you are a driver, because they can give you a shift anywhere within the country. So if you don't drive, you are a bit limited when it comes to you earning extra money with agencies. Apart from that, if you do drive, you get the agency that pays highest rates, you are good to go. And normally the agencies also pay weekly. So for instance, if you do a shift on Monday, you get paid the following week. Some would even pay you the same week. So if you work on a Monday, you're likely to even get paid on Wednesday. So you just have to send off the timesheet for the shift you worked in that hospital. And some also pay for mileage if you drive. If you don't drive and you go to the hospital with public transport, you just need to attach a copy of your receipt to the timesheet and send it over to them, and they will definitely pay. So that is one very good way of making extra money. So imagine you doing an extra shift like once, even if it's just once a week, at least you are assured of getting something weekly in between before the month ends. So the next step I'll share with you is by you starting a YouTube channel. Yes, I know most people are not really cool with recording themselves and all that, but then you can make extra money on the side by doing something like educational videos, demonstration videos. So if there is something like you are passionate about, you can actually do a demonstration or tutorial video showing people how it is done. By doing these kind of videos, you add value to people's life. People learn a lot from you. So for instance, if you are a registered nurse who was migrated from their home country to any other country, you can do an educational video by teaching people or showing people or explaining to people the process involved in registering with the Nursing and Midwifery Council that in the country you are currently working in, because most people don't really know about the process involved in this whole migrating process. And also, if you are passionate about something like cooking, you can just do tutorials showing people how to prepare different kinds of foods. You know, nowadays in this COVID quarantine, people are staying indoors most of the time, and they would definitely love to learn something new. So if you've got good cooking skills, if you've got, it shouldn't really necessarily be good cooking skills per se, but if whatever you are interested in showing the world, you can just make tutorials, record it. If you don't want to show yourself or show your face, you can actually even record your hands. If it's a cooking tutorial, you can just be recording your hands and record the actual thing you are doing without necessarily showing your face. And I'm not saying you just put one video out there and then you get paid by YouTube the following day. No, how it works is you have to be consistent with the content you put out there, and it has to be good quality. And also you need to meet the requirements for being monetized, which is getting 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. So in order to get this, you should be consistent in the content you put out there, and it has to be good quality so that more people will watch your videos, and once they like it, they will subscribe, they will keep watching, they will share with people, and that is how come you actually get monetized and get something on the side. Next idea I'm going to be sharing with you is by you starting a blog. So someone would ask, what does a blog mean and how do you make extra money by blogging? So you can create a website. If you've got good writing skills, you don't necessarily need to be the best writer, but just as I'm talking, I could put whatever I'm saying into writing. And if you create a website and put such good contents on for people to read, you're going to make extra money. And how do you make extra money? By putting content on your website. So for instance, if you purchase a particular product that you really love, you can register. For instance, if you purchase it on Amazon, you could register with the Amazon affiliate marketing program. And if you do a product review, if you write something about this product you've purchased, and the more people go onto your website, read about this product, and if they develop an interest in purchasing, they will definitely see the link in your write-up on your website. And if they purchase that product using the link you shared on your website, you get a commission from Amazon. So that is how it works. So with this particular method, you should get a lot more people viewing whatever you put on the website, and it actually has to be good quality content, and you have to be consistent on the information you put out there. If you have a car and you don't actually know what to do with it when you are not working or when you're not doing errands with it, I have an idea for you. And with this idea, you can make extra money with your car. So when you're off, you're not working, instead of having your car just parked in the garage, you can actually make your car work for you so that you can earn extra money. What I mean by this is you can register as an Uber driver. So when you are on your day off, instead of you going, if you don't fancy going to the ward to take extra shift, doing extra long day to stress yourself, you can actually work as an Uber driver. Yes, you can if you don't mind. So with this, you just work at your own convenience, and you can work a few hours, and you can maximize your earnings with this if you work during peak hours, for instance in the mornings and in the evenings, as well as during the weekends. Or apart from being an Uber driver, if you don't want to drive yourself, you can also contact Uber. I have put a link to their website, and you can get their contact number. So what you can actually do is, instead of you driving on your own, you can register with them. They can get you a driver, so you can just be sitting at home relaxing, and your car will be working for you. So instead of parking your car in the garage or on the car park when you are not working, you can actually think of this and use your car as a way of earning extra income. Apart from that, there are so many food delivery services like Deliveroo, Uber Eats, Just Eat. Nowadays, most people do order food most of the time, because most of the restaurants in UK currently are not opened. Most of them are only doing takeaways. So instead of you parking your car when you're off, you can actually be an Uber Eats driver, just be delivering food to people. And I checked their website, and I think averagely delivery drivers earn anywhere between 26 and 186 pounds, depending on the number of hours you do work. So if this is something you are interested in, you can check on their website, get more information, and then get something extra from your car, instead of you just parking it when you are not working. Like I said, with the Uber, if you don't wish to drive on your own, you can contact them. They can get a driver for you, and then you just chill whilst your car works for you. The last tip I'm going to share with you is quite interesting, and it's something I've actually done myself, and it really worked quite well. So it's about importing and selling stuff. So sometimes you realize that when you go to the Asian shops or when you go to the African shops, you realize that most of the stuff we normally like to buy are quite expensive compared to when you go to the other shops like Morrison's, Asda, and all the other shops. And that is because all those stuff that we like, that's the local food we like, they are imported, so obviously they are more expensive. So what you can do is, when you go to these Asian shops, you look at the stuff, the local stuff you like, the ones that really sells very quickly. Then you can contact a friend or family back home and see if they can arrange to have stuff like that for you, and then get it delivered to you. Once you get it delivered to you, you can contact friends, family members who are here to let them know that you have stuff like this for sale, and when they are interested in, they can contact you and buy from you, and you can earn a decent amount with that. So with this one, you have to bear in mind the cost of shipping the stuff from wherever it's coming from into the country. And also, apart from you getting the stuff and selling them yourself, you can go to some of these Asian shops, you contact the owners, just sit with them, have a deal with them, and if they are willing to accept them when they are delivered to you, you can take it to them, and once they sell it for you, you go and then you get your money. So it all depends on how you actually negotiate with them, and most of them are really business minded, and they would definitely be interested in something like this, and you definitely get something extra on the side. This is something I've personally done, and I know what I'm talking about. So we've come to the end of this video. If you found it useful, if you've learned something new from it, just give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel. And if there is anything else you are doing on the side to get extra money, you can put it in the comments below so that we can all learn from each other. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video.